Hey guys, good morning and welcome to Castle's Corner. Today is Cooking with Castle and we're going to be doing steak tacos with some mushrooms, bacon, and spinach. So let's go ahead and get into the video, guys. Alright guys, so what I got here is some bacon, some steak, some onions, some garlic, some mushrooms, some cheese, a little bit of spinach, and then I got these nice spinach and herb tacos. And we're going to be making a quesadilla or tacos or whatever really, I don't know. But anyways, first things first, let's get that pan on hot. Take a little bit of bacon out. Get that rendered down. You guys know how much I like bacon, as using it for my fat as well as my rendering. Once I got my bacon in there rendering, I'm going to take care of my onions and my garlic next. By the way, the reason I use these little white onions, I had people asking me, it's because if you have a whole onion and you cut it or you take the skin off and you leave it in your refrigerator for more than a day like that, it actually has a high possibility of making you sick because of bacteria. So if you use these little tiny onions, you just kind of use whatever you need, and they stay in these lovely little natural packaged shells, I guess you'd say, and you just use whatever little bit you need. Now, because I usually cook my meals a single meal at a time, that means I don't need much. So I'm not bulk prepping or meal prepping. If I was, I would probably buy big onions, or if I had family members I was cooking for, etc. You get the idea. But since I only really cook for myself, it doesn't matter. I think it goes without saying, but make sure that your cutting board is always clean in between uses, especially if it's a wood cutting board. Make sure that you're bleaching it after every use. You don't cross-contaminate, obviously. Most of you know this already, but don't put beef and steak and fish and everything else on the same board. Don't have proteins on here raw, and then put vegetables on it, even if you are intending to cook them later. There's a lot of very basic health things that kind of get overlooked in home kitchens, and they really shouldn't be, because they're very important for your health. Just stirring up my bacon a little bit. I'm going to get all these little icky bits of skin out of here. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to add this in to my bacon. At the same time as I'm going to add my mushrooms, and I'm only going to cook those for just a moment. And I'm going to throw my steak in there as well. Now, I know a lot of people don't like mushrooms. I get it. But generally speaking, as long as you cook mushrooms correctly, they do taste really good, and they're a great addition to many dishes. The health benefits are quite a few. This one here looks like it's button mushrooms, oyster mushrooms, a little portobello. Turn the heat down to medium. I'm going to add my vegetables. Now the reason I'm putting the lid on it and turning the heat down is because I want these to sweat, or I want the actual liquid within the vegetables to come out while the outside very lightly cooks and or caramelizes. I should also like to point out, as long as you're not filming anyways, that cooking is a great way to stress relieve. It's very relaxing. It doesn't really take any knowledge, just curiosity and a desire to experiment. I know people screw up a lot in the beginning, but it is kind of hard when all you're really doing is cooking vegetables and steaks to screw it up. And just one more second, I'm going to go ahead and add my steak to that. Now for this, I'll be adding roughly 8 ounces of this steak. This is shaved thin ribeye. The reason I like the ribeye on top of the really nice marbling of the fat is because it also shaves the best, and the grain tends to stay together the best. So once again, what I'm going to do is just push this off to the side. By grouping it together like that, the bottom is going to keep cooking, but the liquid from the top is going to be slowing it down a little bit. This area here is where I'm going to put my steak. Now if you can see, but I have the edge resting kind of off-center the burner. The burner's right here, and this is just slightly off the burner, so it's just being kept warm, while this area is being heated up a lot for the ribeye. The ribeye I'm just going to place in there, and I'm going to season it in just a moment with salt, pepper, as well as Larry's taco seasoning. This is just a little taco seasoning packet you can get anywhere at any supermarket, in like the ethnic food section or in the spice section. We usually buy the taco shells and stuff. There's all kinds. I just particularly like this one. Here's another kind. And you just put a little bit more than you think you need. In my opinion, that tends to make it better. I like a lot of the taco seasoning flavor though. I'm going to turn the heat back up all the way to high. I want to make sure that the steak is separating and picking up all of the additional seasoning in the pan so it doesn't burn. That's not going to be good. It's going to make my food bitter. And then add my spinach, and then on top of the spinach I'm going to add my cheese so it melts in real nice. Turn the heat off, mix it all up real good. Let's rinse out the pan real quick. Now this isn't what I normally do, but if you want to, you can always turn them into nice little quesadillas like this. Just put the filling in there. Usually I just have boring old tacos, but if you want to, you can do this. Now the cheese helps hold it all together. Spread it out like a nice little pizza or something. You want to have the heat on about medium for this, so you brown the tortilla but you don't cook anything else. Other one goes on top.